gives a new meaning to the term freehouse. Absolutely. I've been on a few bars. There was one that had
pub grocers, and a pub grocer was a very common sight in Ireland. It was a way for publicans and grocers to catch both sides of the family. The ladies would be in here buying the supplies and groceries for the household. The gentlemen would of course be through those double doors there enjoying a nice cold glass of whatever they fancy, alright? And that way we got both sides of the household income. Now, over on this wall here, these are all locally produced goods, a representation of what you would expect to find in any grocers in Ireland. The store was originally located in Derry at the top of Bishop Street, and these would have all come from within a few miles of the town or the city, okay? Things like your lingfish, dried salted cod, excellent for a long journey. It's a bit like a fish jerky. It could also be soaked in water overnight and fried up the next day, and made a very good breakfast for a working man. You've got things like sides of bacon. We've got a few nice little sweet loaves, or bun loaves as they would have been called. And they are things that you won't make at home. They're a little bit more sugar in them than normal bread. They're almost like a kind of brioche. It's a treat to have one of those. Yeah. We've got things like cheeses and butters, some cured ham, some silver-sided beef, a couple of chickens. All the simple staples. Now, I'm not a fishmonger, I'm not a butcher, I'm not a baker, I'm not a dairy. I just have a few of those items in a small selection for the housewife in a hurry, so she can get everything she needs in one go. If she wants anything outside of the scope of those, she'll go directly to the butcher, to the fishmonger, to the baker, okay? We've also got our other staples, onions, flour, wholemeal, potatoes, all those sorts of things. The average city family of 5 people would go through a 14-pound bag of flour like that probably every week. Okay, so a stone of flour. You're doing a lot of your own baking at home, and bread is a staple of any Victorian diet, okay? Calorie dense, plenty of energy, carbohydrate, gets the fat packed on you because you're working nearly all the time. You're exerting an awful lot of energy. Especially in a place like Derry, where one of the main enterprises for gentlemen was ship's carpentry. Okay, it's a very physical, demanding job, lugging heavy planks, pulling yourself up in little gantries so you can get in at the sides of hulls, all things like that. It's all very physically demanding. This wall here, pardon me, this is a lot more interesting. This is our mass-produced and imported goods. So at the bottom here, we have drums that have been filled with loose leaf tea, and indeed that's how Doherty got his true start. He was a tea importer, William George. Tea at this point in time is served loose leaf like that. So you bought, a 4-ounce or an 8-ounce bag of tea, and that would have done you about a week, depending on how often you were entertaining. We don't get tea bags until a little bit closer to the 1900s, okay? And again, like most advances in food technology, that was for the army. You sent bags of tea, it was easier to ration. And that means you just pop a couple in the teapot, fill it with hot water, and that was you done, as opposed to the whole nuisance of portioning out tea into a teapot, brewing it and then straining it, okay? You're just getting rid of that extra step. We've also got things like rice and sugar, again, imported goods. Up here we've got our lovely range of spices from across the world. This is only a small selection of what you would likely see. People have this impression that British and Irish cuisine is very boring and bland. It's all boiled to within an inch of its life. All the vegetables are the same sort of dull yellow colour, regardless of whether they started out orange or green. You've got bubble and squeak, toad in the hole, what else? Bangers and mash, anything with an and in the middle of it was British cuisine. But that's actually only a very recent idea. That only comes from around the 1960s and 70s. And that's because the rationing in the Second World War, for some goods and spices, lasted right up until 1969. Okay? It was difficult to get interesting food. Of course, Britain at this point in time, 1890, we have the empire. We have colonies everywhere. Any cook worth their salt will know 4 or 5 different dishes from at least 4 or 5 different cuisines and be able to spice them accordingly. Okay, that idea of British food being bland, it's a very recent idea. Okay, above that we have our mass-produced goods, and I mentioned the store was set around 1890, even though Doherty opened it around 1861. The reason we brought it forward by up to 1890 is so we have access to some more familiar brands. Things like Cadbury's and Roundtrees. There's Baird's for the custard powder. We've got things like Coleman's. We've got our Oxo cubes, and we've got Lifebuoy soap, along with some local brands. City Hall matches from Belfast, for example. Gallagher's snuff from Belfast and Cookstown. Okay. One of the most important goods here is this. This is your soap. Mass-produced soap like this really only comes to the fore in about 1889. Before that, soap was mostly still made at home using tallow or animal fat, mixed in with a chemical cleaning component, maybe lye powder or potash was a lot more common. Those are very, very harsh on your hands. The soap wasn't exactly a pleasant consistency. It is fat after all. And this comes along and changes the game. Made out of paraffin wax and carbolic acid, it's a lot milder, it's a lot more longer lasting, it doesn't smell like old bacon, and it can be used for everything. It'll clean the floor, it'll clean the counters, it'll clean the walls, the windows, your face, your arse, all of it will be cleaned with Lifebuoy soap. Alright? It used to be said that on a Sunday morning, mothers, grandmothers and maiden aunts up and down the country would scrub the very devil out of the children with Lifebuoy so they could send them clean to church. Alright? And we also do function as a fully working sweetie shop. So if I can tempt you to any of my confectionery creations, please allow me to do so. We take all forms of modern payment, your cash, your cash, card, your wallet, your watch, your phone, your firstborn, doesn't matter to me as long as I get paid. Alright?
We'll start.
There you go, fellas. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, if you'd like any sweets, just speak now or forever hold your peace.
Look at old Musk. Oh no! Just the video, the ship itself. Wow.